Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video we are going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. In 1975, an unassuming coin was minted in the United States, but little did anyone know at the time, it would go on to become one of the most coveted and valuable coins in the world of numismatics. The 1975 USA 1 dime coin, or simply the 1975 dime, might have seemed like just another part of everyday currency when it was produced, but in the years to follow, this small silver coin would become the subject of intense interest, research, and, eventually, a prized possession for collectors. What started as a routine coin struck by the U.S. Mint would evolve into a remarkable story of rare errors, historical significance, and impressive value. To understand the significance of the 1975 dime, it's important to first explore its historical context. The 1970s were a time of major shifts in the United States, politically, economically, and socially. The country was recovering from the Watergate scandal, dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and adjusting to the complex global and domestic changes of the time. Despite these challenges, the 1970s also saw a flourishing of American culture and innovation, with movements in music, art, technology, and civil rights. This dynamic period set the stage for a number of important moments in U.S. history, and coinage was no exception. The U.S. Mint had been producing coins with varying degrees of design changes and alterations for decades, but the 1975 dime would be one of the last to feature a design that had been in place since the early 20th century. The design of the dime, introduced in 1946, featured the iconic image of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, on the obverse side, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse side. This design, created by the artist John R. Sinek, was chosen to honor Roosevelt's legacy, particularly his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The Roosevelt dime had become an enduring symbol of the nation's resilience and spirit. By 1975, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for nearly 3 decades. It was a familiar coin, regularly used in everyday transactions. However, by the time the 1975 version was minted, the U.S. Mint had begun to notice a growing trend in coin collecting, with collectors becoming increasingly interested in varieties, errors, and special circumstances that could affect a coin's value. As a result, even coins as commonplace as the dime began to attract attention from those who understood the hidden potential of certain coins. The 1975 dime, despite its relatively unremarkable design, would go on to captivate the numismatic community. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1975 dime is the variety of minting errors that occurred during its production. Errors in the minting process are not uncommon, but certain types of errors are particularly rare and valuable to collectors. A minor mistake during the striking process can result in a coin with a unique characteristic, and in the case of the 1975 dime, a series of rare and unusual mistakes would lead to the creation of some of the most sought-after coins of the era. One of the most notable errors associated with the 1975 dime is a variation known as the 1975/1974 overdate. Overdate errors occur when a coin die is reused for a new year's coins, but the old year is still visible on the die. This leads to a coin that bears 2 different years, creating a rare and collectible variation. In the case of the 1975 dime, the 1974 was still faintly visible under the 1975, which made the coin exceptionally rare and desirable. These overdate errors are among the most prized examples of 1975 dimes, and they are considered to be among the rarest coins in the Roosevelt dime series. Collectors have long sought out the 1975 to 1974 overdate dimes due to their scarcity and the distinctiveness of the error. While the error is subtle and not immediately noticeable to the untrained eye, those who know what to look for can spot the faint "4" from the previous year on certain coins. The discovery of these overdate dimes has created a frenzy in the collecting world, and finding one in excellent condition can be a truly rewarding experience for collectors. Another important factor that contributes to the value of the 1975 dime is the coin's overall condition. Like all coins, the state of preservation is a key determinant in its value. A dime that has been worn down by years of circulation, scratched, or damaged is generally worth less than one that has been well preserved. While most of the 1975 dimes saw heavy circulation and were subjected to the usual wear and tear, some rare examples managed to survive in pristine or near-pristine condition. These high-quality examples are highly sought after by collectors and can command significant premiums in the marketplace. The condition of the coin is graded by a professional numismatist, and the highest grades are awarded to coins that are virtually flawless. Coins in such high grades are known as mint state or uncirculated coins, and they are the most valuable versions of any coin. A 1975 dime in mint state, particularly one with a notable error like the 1975/1974 overdate, can be worth much more than a typical circulated coin. The value of a well-preserved 1975 dime can be astonishing, especially when combined with one of the rare minting errors. Another aspect that contributes to the allure of the 1975 dime is its place in American history. Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose portrait is featured on the obverse of the dime, remains one of the most influential presidents in U.S. history. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, along with his New Deal programs, left an indelible mark on the country. The Roosevelt dime was introduced shortly after his death in 1945, making it a lasting tribute to his legacy. For collectors, owning a 1975 dime is not just about the value of the coin itself, but also about the historical significance it represents. The 1975 dime is more than just a piece of currency, it is a reminder of a time of great challenges and triumphs in American history. So, what is the current value of the 1975 USA 1 dime coin? The answer is both surprising and exciting. While a standard 1975 dime in average condition is worth only a few cents more than its face value, the rare varieties and minting errors can command much higher prices. The most valuable versions of the 1975 dime are those with the 1975/1974 overdate, which are among the most coveted coins in the Roosevelt dime series. These coins can fetch extraordinary prices, with some specimens selling for as much as $138,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $138,000. That is the price that some of the rarest and best-preserved 1975 dimes have been known to fetch at auction. Of course, not every 1975 dime is worth this much, but for those who are lucky enough to own a high-quality example with a significant error, the potential for a substantial financial return is enormous. Even coins that don't feature the overdate error, but are in excellent condition, can still command impressive premiums. The 1975 USA 1 dime coin is a testament to the incredible potential of coins as both historical artifacts and valuable investments. What was once just a small, everyday coin has now become a rare and sought-after treasure, admired by collectors for its history, rarity, and beauty. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a newcomer to the world of coin collecting, the 1975 dime is a fascinating example of how a simple coin can hold immense value. So, the next time you come across a 1975 dime, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding a piece of American history that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you're lucky enough to find one with a minting error or in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a valuable treasure, one that might be worth $138,000 or more. In 1985, a seemingly ordinary coin was minted in the United States, a coin that would go on to capture the attention of numismatists and coin enthusiasts around the world. The 1985 USA 1 dime coin, affectionately known as the Roosevelt dime, might have seemed like just another everyday piece of currency, but as history would reveal, this small 10-cent coin carried within it rare qualities, remarkable stories, and a value that would skyrocket over time. What started as a simple coin, produced as part of regular minting operations, soon became the subject of intense study, intrigue, and ultimately, immense collector appeal. This is the journey of the 1985 dime, a coin that would earn its place in the hearts of collectors and, perhaps more unexpectedly, in the pages of numismatic history for its rarity and stunning value. To understand the significance of the 1985 dime, it's essential to first explore the historical context surrounding its production. The 1980s were a decade of tremendous transformation in the United States. The country was experiencing the tail end of the Cold War, with tensions rising between the US and the Soviet Union, and the economy was in a state of transition as the nation moved from the stagflation of the 1970s to a period of economic growth under President Ronald Reagan. Domestically, the 1980s saw a shift in American culture, as the country embraced new technologies, like the personal computer and video games, and saw the emergence of a consumer-driven society. For all the changes taking place in the US, one thing remained constant: the use of coins in everyday transactions. While paper currency was in regular circulation, coins such as the dime were still widely used for smaller purchases, from a candy bar at the corner store to a fare on public transportation. Coins like the 1985 dime played an essential role in daily life, and while they were an ordinary part of transactions, they also held within them a rich history and a deep connection to the nation's culture. The design of the dime itself was well known, as it had not changed for nearly 4 decades by the time 1985 rolled around. Introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who had passed away the year before. Roosevelt had led the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II, and his leadership during such tumultuous times had earned him a special place in American history. The dime was intended as a tribute to Roosevelt's legacy, and the design featured his portrait on the obverse front of the coin, facing left. On the reverse side, the dime displayed a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. These elements were meant to reflect Roosevelt's commitment to these values during his presidency. By the time the 1985 dime was minted, the coin had become a staple of U.S. currency. The design, which had been created by artist John R. Sinek, was timeless and resonated with Americans for its simplicity and significance. Roosevelt's image on the coin became iconic, and the symbolism on the reverse side of the dime remained a powerful reminder of the country's values. The 1985 version of the dime was struck with this familiar design, but it was in the years following its production that this seemingly ordinary coin would become extraordinary. Though the 1985 dime had the same design as its predecessors, the minting process was not without its challenges, and this would later contribute to the coin's collector appeal. In the years following its minting, collectors began to notice small variations and errors that had occurred during the production of certain 1985 dimes. These errors, while subtle, were enough to make the coins highly sought after by those who understood the importance of such anomalies in the world of coin collecting. Coin collectors are often on the lookout for misprints, minting errors, or design variations that can make a coin rare or unique, and in the case of the 1985 dime, there were a few noteworthy examples of such errors. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1985 dime is the double die error, a mistake that occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process. This misalignment results in a doubling effect on the coin's design, where certain elements, like the lettering or images, appear as though they have been stamped twice. In the case of the 1985 dime, the double die error was particularly noticeable in the date, where the 1985 appeared as though it had been struck with a slight offset, causing the numbers to appear blurry or doubled. This subtle error, while not immediately apparent to the naked eye, became a highly prized feature among collectors who understood its rarity and significance. The existence of the 1985 double die dime created an immediate demand in the numismatic community. Error coins, particularly those with such a clear and distinct misprint, can significantly increase the value of a coin, as they are considered to be unique and unusual. As word spread among collectors that the 1985 dime featured this error, the coin quickly gained attention, and demand for it surged. What had once been an everyday piece of currency began to take on a new role as a rare treasure. These error coins were no longer just dimes, they had become a piece of history, a collector's prize that could potentially bring a high return on investment. In addition to the double die error, the 1985 dime also saw some other variations that contributed to its value. Some coins were struck with off-center dies, which caused the design to be printed unevenly or off-center, leaving portions of the coin blank. This type of error is less common but still valuable to collectors, especially when the misstrike is substantial. These off-center errors, combined with the already existing double die coins, created a pool of rare and valuable 1985 dimes that were in high demand. The appeal of the 1985 dime didn't just stem from its minting errors, though. There was also the matter of condition. Like all coins, the state of preservation plays a critical role in determining a coin's value. Dimes that had been in circulation for years often exhibited wear and tear, with the details of the design becoming worn down from frequent handling. However, some 1985 dimes managed to escape this fate and were kept in pristine condition. Coins in mint state, those that had never been in circulation and had been carefully preserved, were considered the holy grail for collectors. These well-preserved coins, especially those with errors, could fetch an impressive price on the market. The growing interest in the 1985 dime did not go unnoticed, and as collectors searched for the rare varieties, the price of these coins began to climb. What was once a modestly valued coin began to gain in worth, and the market for these rare dimes surged. The price of a high-grade 1985 dime with an error could reach impressive amounts, with some examples selling for upwards of $126,000. Yes, you read that right, $126,000 for a coin that, at first glance, might seem like just another dime. This incredible value is a testament to the rarity and desirability of the 1985 dime, particularly those that feature minting errors such as the double die or off-center strikes. For collectors, finding one of these rare specimens is akin to discovering a hidden treasure. The combination of rarity, historical significance, and the unique qualities of these coins has made them a sought-after addition to any serious collection. The value of the 1985 dime highlights a fascinating aspect of coin collecting. Even the most ordinary coins can hold tremendous value when they possess unique characteristics or are part of a limited production. What began as a routine minting operation in 1985 has, over time, turned the coin into a remarkable piece of American numismatic history. The 1985 dime is a perfect example of how a small mistake in the minting process, combined with the natural preservation of a coin, can lead to a dramatic increase in value. If you happen to come across a 1985 dime, take the time to carefully inspect it. If you find one with a double die error, an off-center strike, or a pristine mint state, you might be holding a coin worth far more than you initially thought. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, the 1985 dime is a fascinating and valuable coin to keep an eye out for. Its unique combination of historical significance, minting errors, and remarkable value makes it a true gem in the world of coin collecting. In 1996, a seemingly ordinary dime was minted in the United States. The 1996 USA 1 dime coin, a small but mighty piece of currency, would go on to become a significant treasure in the world of numismatics. To the untrained eye, it appeared to be just another coin in circulation, but for those in the know, the 1996 dime held a rich history, fascinating design, and an intriguing story that would elevate its value far beyond its mere 10-cent face value. What started as part of the daily flow of American currency turned into a coin that would, decades later, capture the imagination and attention of collectors across the globe. The mid-1990s were a time of significant transition in the United States. The country was in the midst of technological advancements, the internet was beginning to take off, and a new generation was stepping into the workforce. The world of finance was also evolving as the U.S. experienced economic growth and prosperity under President Bill Clinton's administration. Amid these changes, however, the U.S. Mint continued its long-standing task of producing coins for the American people. In 1996, like in years past, the Mint was tasked with striking dimes to meet the needs of the economy. At the same time, this coin, small in size but rich in history, would eventually find its place in the world of rare coin collecting. To fully appreciate the significance of the 1996 dime, it's important to understand its context within U.S. coinage history. The Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946, had been the standard 10-cent coin for over 4 decades by the time 1996 rolled around. The Roosevelt dime was designed to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, and his legacy was one of leadership and strength. His portrait, as designed by artist John R. Sinnock, graced the obverse, front, of the dime, while the reverse featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. In 1996, this iconic design remained unchanged, a steadfast tribute to Roosevelt's leadership. The coin's small size, only 17.91 mm in diameter and weighing just 2.268 grams, made it a regular part of daily transactions. People would use the dime to pay for a cup of coffee, a bus fare, or even a pack of gum. At first glance, the 1996 dime seemed no different from the dimes that had come before it, but beneath the surface, it held the potential for much more than just its 10-cent value. The process by which the 1996 dime was minted played an important role in its later appeal to collectors. The U.S. Mint struck coins at several facilities across the country, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each facility produced coins with slight variations, such as different mint marks, depending on where they were struck. The minting process was a highly controlled operation, but like any mass production, errors could occur. These errors, however, would later become the reason for much of the value of the 1996 dime in the world of coin collecting. Most of the 1996 dimes produced were struck perfectly, as expected. However, as is often the case with coins, there were occasional issues during production. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1996 dime series is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck unevenly. The result is a coin where portions of the design, such as Roosevelt's portrait or the torch, are missing, or the design is off-center. While off-center errors are not exceedingly rare, they are still highly prized by collectors because they make the coin unique. These off-center 1996 dimes are more difficult to find, as most coins that were produced in this manner were caught by the Mint's quality control measures. In addition to off-center errors, the 1996 dime also experienced some instances of other subtle imperfections. Some coins were struck with a misalignment of the dies, leading to a doubling of the design on the coin. This error, known as a double die, results in a blurred or doubled image on certain elements of the coin's design, particularly on the lettering or numbers. A double die in 1996 dime, especially one where the error is noticeable in the date or the word liberty, is highly desirable among collectors. These variations, while small and often difficult to detect without close inspection, increase the rarity of the coin, making it a valuable addition to a collection. Coin collectors, always on the lookout for rare and unique specimens, quickly began to pay attention to the 1996 dime for these reasons. The presence of minting errors, particularly off-center strikes and doubled dies, made this coin a sought-after treasure. However, the allure of the 1996 dime didn't end with errors. The overall condition of the coin also played a significant role in determining its value. Coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition, are highly prized by collectors, as they retain the sharpness and detail of the original design. Given that many dimes are used in everyday transactions, most 1996 dimes that were in circulation became worn over time. The wear and tear from years of handling could dull the details on the coin, making it less appealing to collectors. However, a few fortunate examples managed to avoid the ravages of time. Coins that were stored carefully or remained in mint condition were seen as rare finds. The preservation of such coins is one of the key factors that contributes to their high value on the market today. The appeal of the 1996 dime, especially those with errors or in mint state condition, grew as collectors began to realize its potential value. As with many coins in the world of numismatics, rarity is the key to a coin's worth. The 1996 dime was produced in large quantities, but only a small number of these coins were struck with the errors that collectors desired. These errors, coupled with the relatively low number of dimes that survived in uncirculated condition, created a market where the value of certain 1996 dimes skyrocketed. As collectors and investors began to seek out these rare dimes, the price of the 1996 dime began to rise. What was once a 10-cent piece became a valuable commodity, with the price of a rare 1996 dime climbing to astonishing heights. While most 1996 dimes are worth their face value of 10 cents, the coins with significant errors, such as the off-center strikes and double dies, have sold for much more at auctions. Some of these rare specimens have been known to fetch up to $116,000, a staggering amount for a coin that was originally worth just a dime. So, why does the 1996 dime hold such an impressive value today? It all comes down to the rarity of the coin in mint state condition, the errors that occurred during the minting process, and the demand for unique coins in the world of collecting. The 1996 dime, with its subtle but noticeable variations and the ability to retain its original design in certain cases, has become one of the most sought-after coins of the 1990s. Its value continues to rise as more collectors learn about its potential and seek out the rarest examples. In the end, the 1996 USA 1 dime coin is a shining example of how a simple piece of currency can evolve into a numismatic treasure. What started as a routine minting operation in 1996 has become a captivating part of American coin history. Whether it's the rare off-center strike, the double die error, or the pristine condition of a coin carefully preserved over the years, the 1996 dime holds a place of importance in the world of coin collecting. For those lucky enough to own a 1996 dime with an error or one in mint state condition, the coin is worth far more than its original 10-cent value. As collectors continue to search for these rare and valuable specimens, the 1996 dime will likely remain a prized possession for years to come. So, the next time you find yourself holding a 1996 dime, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of numismatic history worth much more than you think. With the potential to fetch up to $116,000, that seemingly ordinary dime might be the unexpected treasure you've been waiting for. In 1997, a coin was minted in the United States that, like many others, seemed unremarkable at first glance, but would later capture the attention of collectors and numismatists around the world. The 1997 USA 1 dime coin, commonly known as the Roosevelt dime, may have appeared to be just another everyday piece of currency, but its journey through the world of coin collecting would prove to be far more intriguing and valuable than most people could have imagined. What was initially viewed as a routine, ordinary dime would later become a highly sought-after rarity, thanks to a combination of factors, including minting errors, rarity, and impeccable preservation. As we dive into the fascinating story behind the 1997 dime, we'll explore its historical context, its design, the minting process, the collecting world's fascination with the coin, and the astonishing value it commands today. The 1990s were a time of transition in the United States. The country was entering a new decade with significant shifts in politics, technology, and culture. Under the leadership of President Bill Clinton, the U.S. saw an economic boom, with the stock market reaching record highs and the country experiencing relative peace and prosperity following the end of the Cold War. The 1990s were also marked by the rise of the Internet, the proliferation of cell phones, and the popularization of grunge music, hip-hop, and boy bands. It was an era defined by rapid technological change and a cultural shift toward the digital age. Amid these changes, however, the everyday workings of the U.S. economy carried on as usual, and the U.S. Mint continued producing coins to meet the needs of the American public. One of the most well-known coins in circulation during this time was the Roosevelt dime. Introduced in 1946 to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the dime quickly became a staple of American currency. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was a key figure in leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II. In honor of his leadership, the U.S. Mint designed the dime to feature a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse front of the coin, with a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse side. The design, created by artist John R. Sinek, was chosen as a tribute to Roosevelt's ideals of liberty, peace, and strength. By the time 1997 arrived, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for over 5 decades. It was a coin that had become synonymous with American currency, and it had a reputation for reliability and consistency. The design of the coin remained largely unchanged during this time, with only minor adjustments made to its composition over the years. In 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using silver to a copper-nickel alloy in the production of dimes and other coins due to rising silver prices. However, the basic design remained the same, and the 1997 version of the dime was no different. While the coin might have appeared to be a routine minting, the reality was that it was part of a legacy that would later become a focus of great interest within the world of numismatics. To understand why the 1997 dime became so highly regarded by collectors, we need to take a closer look at the process by which it was minted. The U.S. Mint produces coins at several facilities across the country, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each of these facilities plays a key role in the coin production process, and coins are struck using specially prepared dies that contain the design of the coin. These dies are used to strike multiple coins, and the quality of the coins produced depends on a variety of factors, including the precision of the dies, the pressure applied during the striking process, and the quality of the metal used. During the production of the 1997 dimes, the minting process was carried out with the same high standards that had been in place for years. However, as with any mass production process, there were occasional anomalies and errors that occurred during the minting of certain coins. While most of the dimes produced in 1997 were standard coins, a select few featured rare and distinctive characteristics that would make them highly sought after by collectors in the years to come. One of the most notable errors associated with the 1997 dime is the wide mint mark error. Mint marks are small letters on the coin that indicate the facility where the coin was minted. For the 1997 dime, the mint mark was placed on the obverse side of the coin, just below Roosevelt's portrait. In most cases, the mint mark was relatively small and neatly positioned. However, in some instances, the mint mark was struck with extra force, causing it to appear larger and wider than usual. This error created a unique and highly collectible variation of the 1997 dime, and it quickly gained the attention of coin collectors. The wide mint mark error was not a widespread issue, making it a rare find for those who were fortunate enough to come across one. In addition to the wide mint mark error, there were also cases of other minor variations and imperfections in the 1997 dime. These included off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned during the striking process, leading to an uneven design, and double dies, where certain elements of the design appeared to have been struck multiple times, causing a doubling effect. These types of errors, while often subtle, are highly prized in the world of numismatics. Collectors actively search for coins with these rare variations, as they are considered to be anomalies that can significantly increase a coin's value beyond the errors. Another key factor that contributed to the allure of the 1997 dime was its overall condition. As with any coin, the value of the 1997 dime is heavily influenced by its grade, which refers to the level of preservation the coin has maintained over the years. Coins that are in pristine, mint state condition, with sharp details and no signs of wear, are considered the most valuable. The 1997 dime, like many other modern coins, was produced in large quantities and saw significant circulation. As a result, most of the 1997 dimes that have survived are in average or worn condition. However, there are a select few that have remained in exceptional condition, making them highly valuable to collectors. Coins in mint state, or uncirculated condition, are rare and prized because they have not been subjected to the wear and tear of everyday circulation. These coins often exhibit sharp, crisp details and retain their original luster. The 1997 dime, with its clean design and well-preserved features, became a favorite among collectors looking to add high-quality examples to their collections. When paired with a rare error, such as the wide mint mark or off-center strike, these coins could command impressive prices at auction. Now, the big question remains: what is the current value of the 1997 USA 1 dime coin? While a typical 1997 dime is worth only its face value of 10 cents, certain variations, particularly those with minting errors or in exceptional condition, can be worth much more. The rare wide mint mark error dimes, along with those in near-perfect or mint state condition, have been known to sell for as much as $114,000 in recent years. Yes, you heard that correctly, $114,000 for a coin that was initially worth just 10 cents. This incredible increase in value is a testament to the rarity and desirability of the 1997 dime, especially among serious coin collectors. It's important to note that not every 1997 dime will fetch this amount, but for those lucky enough to own a coin with an error or one in mint state condition, the potential for significant financial gain is undeniable. The 1997 dime is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can evolve into a valuable collector's item, thanks to a combination of rarity, errors, and condition. As the numismatic world continues to value rare and unique coins, the 1997 dime is a shining example of how small details can make a big difference in a coin's value. In the end, the 1997 USA 1 dime coin is far more than just a 10-cent piece. It is a reminder of the fascinating world of coin collecting, where small imperfections and variations can turn a simple coin into a treasured rarity. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 1997 dime offers a captivating glimpse into the rich history and potential value of U.S. coinage. If you happen to come across one of these rare coins, you could be holding a true gem, a coin worth far more than its face value. The 1997 dime serves as a testament to the extraordinary possibilities that lie within the world of coin collecting.